Welcome, and thanks for joining Deakin's Open Day. My name is Peter Eklund. I'm one of the professors in the School of Information Technology, and I'll be the MC for today's presentation. Also, welcome to Jack Murley, a computer science student at Deakin, who will join today's presentation. We'll be hosting a live Q&A session straight after this presentation to answer any questions you may have. My colleague and the course director for the Bachelor of Computer Science is Dr. Chandan Kamakar. Welcome to Open Day, Chandan. What can you tell us about the Bachelor of Computer Science at Deakin?
Thanks, Peter. I have graduated in computer science and engineering in 1999. I am involved in teaching of computer science and related disciplines since 2002. My research interests are pattern recognition, signal processing, applied artificial intelligence. And I am applying these skills to solve many real-world problems, such as remote and personalized monitoring of health and well-being. I am also doing a lot of work in the wearable health wearable device and wearable device in healthcare areas. So here the structure of our presentation. First, I will provide some motivation for studying computer science. You might think that computer science has been around for a while, but in fact, the industry demand for computer science trained graduates is super strong. Then I will talk about what computer science is and what it is not. This will give you a clear idea actually what you are going to study in this. Then I'll show you what a degree in computer science looks like. So this is more specific, like deep into the course itself. So it will give you a sense of the topics you will be studying should you choose to undertake this course. Finally, I will help you to answer your questions, why you will study at Deakin. So first, why study computer science? So as I mentioned earlier, it is quite a long time people know about computer science. So is there any job about computer science? So there are actually a lot of jobs for computer science in all sectors of the Australian economy, because computation and information plays an important role in all industries. So nowadays you cannot, even if you go to small to medium businesses, everywhere people are using computing devices. So in the era of big data, the prospect of skilled graduates who can automate and analyze data are not diminished. And the tech sector has been only growth sector of the world economy during this COVID-19 pandemic. So if we talk about big data, you can think about even we as a person or at the home, we are always actually contributing and generating a lot of data. For example, smart house, smart devices, or even our social networking platform. So that's why there are a lot of data that we can analyze and we can actually create a lot more knowledge out of that. So during this COVID pandemic situation, if you look at in NASDAQ, the NASDAQ index actually is only part of US economy that has recovered all its losses in 2020. So that means tech sector during this kind of pandemic situation is still booming. So let's look at actually what at the core of Bachelor of Computer Science it is focused on. So first thing is the programming and development. Definitely a Bachelor of Computer students, computer science student will learn about programming and development. So there are a lot of different platforms and languages that we are going to learn through this unit. A Bachelor of Computer Science provides students with the skills to develop across life cycle of creating and designing the device that gathers data, to store and cleaning and aggregating the data gathered with other data, such as weather patterns, to analyze that data into to support human decision making. So that means it has three main core part if you think of. One is gathering the data, one is storing those data, cleaning, and then also analyzing those data to make a decision out of it. So if you look at this last two part of these three things like data, like storing, analyzing, these two things, then it comes to a data science concept. So that this is one of the core focus of this computer science, Bachelor of Computer Science at Deakin. So now I will go into talking about what computer science is and what is not. It is not. So what computer science is? So computer science is the study of computation and information, and as such plays a role in every sector of the Australian economy. Whether you are interested in app development, the Internet of Things, data science, management software, distributed databases, fintech products, or web design and development, then definitely computer science is for you. Learn from world-leading academics at Victoria's #1 university for student satisfaction. So let's look at actually historic perspective of computer science. So computer science covers a range of skills and knowledge about computers, computational problems, and computational systems. So it has a component called theoretical computer science. So what theoretical computer science covers? It covers actually theory of computation, information and coding theory, and it covers also a lot of different kind of algorithms. That means how we can solve complex problems. So second part of this is computer applications. So definitely once we actually we know this kind of computation and information framework, coding framework, how we are going to use them. We can use them for graphics and visualization. We can use them for apply them to do human computer interaction. We can use programming knowledge or algorithms for doing some scientific computing. So that means we have a set of application areas where we can apply our theoretical knowledge that we gain through our computer science study. Then the last part of this is computer systems. So this is more about actually think of like 50 years back what a computer system used to mean. But today it has changed. It has evolved with time. We have actually introduced or we have invented a lot of different things into the computing area. And all those are possible from it came from a single standalone huge machine to a small machine. Then we are connecting small machines together, and that's how we are building our today's computing world. So if you look at that computer system, we will learn about networks, we will learn about databases, architecture, and engineering of computers. So this is also another area where we can contribute as a computer science graduate. So overall, actually all our curriculum will be around these three areas. So some of them will be theoretical computer science, some of them will be computer application, and computer system based units. So now I'll go into actually what we are going to learn in computer science actually at Deakin through this course. So this is the overall 3-year course structure. If you see, we run a 2 trimester every year, so it is 6 trimester whole, and we teach total 24 units as to be graduated in computer science. You have to complete 24 credit points, and among them, if you see green color one, that is actually 19 of them are core computer science units, core units, and other 5 are elective units. So what about core units? Core units are mandatory and you must have to complete them to be graduated. And these are all written what unit you have to take. So there is no choice for you to change that one. But what about elective? Elective is you can select any unit which is offered at Deakin. So it is not definitely need to be only from computer science. It's like from School of IT or School of Faculty of Science Engineering built environments. It can be actually any faculty anywhere. So throughout the Deakin, as long as it is offered, you have some restriction. You have to definitely uh, fulfill the entry requirements for that particular unit, but you can do it. So here I am going to now highlight some sections in the course structure. One of them is this core foundational units. So these are the units we actually define it so as a general skill kind of thing. So as a computer scientist, these are foundation. Based on it, you will learn actually other units. So these are kind of foundation unit for the computer science course. Then actually we have a group of programming units. So as we mentioned, like programming is one of the core thing you have to do. So we have, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, which is based on programming. So it will give you capacity to solve complex problem, so that you can work on actually cutting edge technologies. Even you can work on very advanced actually computing level. Think about working in NASA. So you are sending some spaceship to actually then you have to do a lot of computation looking at all other things. So all these are done by through this kind of programming. So next is a set of core IoT based unit. As I mentioned, big data about collecting lot of data, all the devices around, at our home, at our hand, everywhere. So all those small devices and is actually programming, working with them, how we can actually collect data through them. So all those things are actually we cover in these core units. So these are IoT based units. And then we have data science unit. So this is more about, as we mentioned, analyzing this data. Once we have collected this data, how we can analyze them. So these units cover advanced topics in actually how we can analysis the data. And then finally, we have a set of professional uh, units. So what is this? Actually, we don't only learn in the classroom or at the university, because this is our training period, but at the end, we are going to the job market to actually work. So how that looks like, how that feels like. So to actually give that kind of experience to the students, what we have in our course, we have actually this work integrated learning, professional practices, this kind of opportunity, so that you can go and work, sit inside the workforce and experience what is working in the job place. So this is a way of learning actually through working. And we have also core project unit. So this is about, okay, after learning all these units, what I have mentioned, the question is how you can apply. So what is your, like you have learned all the units, but how you are going to applying it to solve real problem by yourself. So this is kind of project unit. So this is kind of mostly team-based unit, a small team given a new problem where you can be very disruptive, you can bring very fresh and new ideas, and you can actually use all your knowledge learned through all other units to actually showcase your product. So the outcome of these units are always targeted as you will have something that you can showcase to your peers or to the industry, or you can actually put it in your CV strongly, so that when you are going for job interview, you have something to show them that you have done something while you were studying. So this is that's a very critical unit where you are applying all your knowledges. So now, okay, let's look into what are the entry requirements. So for our, there is no like score on ATAR score for minimum ATAR score for our entry requirements. But if we look at the history, so like last year, our ATAR score for for campus-based students are 63.2, and for the cloud campus, it is 73.3. So there are some other options. I think you guys knows about those prerequisites, but those informations are available here as well. So now I will hand over to Peter again to talk about actually what is studying at Deakin feels like. So Peter,
Thank you,
now
Chandan.
thanks.
Thanks for your presentation. Deakin has been ranked #1 university in Victoria for student satisfaction 10 years in a row, but there are other good reasons to study with us. Deakin offers 3 trimesters, and this trimester structure gives our students much more flexibility to study full or part-time to suit the circumstances of family and work life. Deakin is also #1 for online study in Australia and was one of the first Australian universities in online learning. Currently, about 1,000 students in the School of Information Technology study in our cloud campus. That is to say, they study online. Even though a lot of our students are online, it's still the case that 2/3 of our students study on campus. And understandably, for many of us, the on-campus experience is a rite of passage. Most people consider their time at uni as being the best time of their life. In addition to everything that campus life has to offer, entertainment, cafes, restaurants, and student life, we also have some award-winning learning spaces and facilities. Notably among these is our award-winning Robotics and Internet of Things lab, the so-called Riot Lab, and the Discovery Lab at Greenwood Park. Surprisingly, just to talk about pathways, surprisingly many of our students arrive at university from non-traditional pathways, not just via ATAR scores and the VCE. In fact, less than 50% of students arrive through the VCE via the ATAR system. One such pathway is the Deakin College and the Diploma of Information Technology, a pathway that supports direct entry into the second year of the Bachelor of Computer Science. But there are also others. As with many of Deakin's courses, the Bachelor of Computer Science has 5 electives, and a full trimester of study is 4 units. So if you're interested, these elective slots in the course can be used to study overseas at one of our partner universities. Many of our students have spent time on exchange in Europe, the US, Japan, Vietnam, South Asia, and in China, and they receive credit for this study towards their Deakin degree. I spoke earlier about our award-winning Discovery Lab at Greenwood Park near the Burwood campus. This is one tram stop further east of the main Burwood campus. The capstone project experience and the way that we extensively resource it is for us a key competitive advantage of Deakin and key to our 10-year run as the #1 university in Victoria for student experience. All our courses require 2 capstone units in their final year of study, and the Discovery Lab is where students come together as a team to solve real-world problems for an external client. This is a key transitional phase of our educational program and a realistic rehearsal for working life to come. In the same vein as the capstone units, work integrated learning is a feature of all Deakin courses, and it prepares our students for working life. There are 2 types of work integrated learning. The first is where our students spend 100 hours in an approved host company, and the other is where our students spend 3, 6, or even 12 months in a paid internship, which we call industry-based learning. Now I'd like to introduce Jack Murley. Jack is a computer science student in his final year at Deakin. And Jack, what made you choose Deakin?
Hi Peter, and the main reason that I chose Deakin was it provided me the ability to study both between the online and on campus at the same time, which actually let me create my timetable around my schedule. as well as how highly the industry actually ranked Deakin when compared to other universities.
Great. And why computer science exactly?
Code. I just love to code, and the course which offered that the most was computer science.
And what are the highlights of your course so far?
My major highlight so far would be actually working as an associate research fellow in swarm robotics, as well as the opportunity to work with and around world-class researchers and industry professionals on major government-funded projects. And this would have never been possible if I wasn't studying my bachelor's at Deakin.
We were talking a little earlier about your plans for after you finish your course, but would you like to share those with the audience?
Yeah, I'd love to. So my main plans after I graduate is to actually work for one of my previous employers and travel around Australia with them installing and implementing autonomous systems.
And what did you think about studying on the Burwood campus?
Studying at the Burwood campus has just been great, as everything's in a short walk, as well as the library is open 24/7, which helps greatly with just working around my schedule.
Have you been involved in any student clubs or activities?
Currently, I'm not involved in any student clubs. However, I frequently work with Deakin to deliver outreach programs to primary and high school age kids to teach them robotics in a very hands-on approach.
Terrific. And we're very grateful for that too, Jack. Thanks very much.
No worries.
Additional awards and competitive scholarships can make a big difference to the burden of studying full-time. The Ignited Scholarship has been created to ignite women's interest in industry areas traditionally dominated by men, including engineering, information technology, and construction management. Another scholarship of interest is the Barwon Water Scholarship, offered to students commencing a degree in a number of disciplines, including information technology. Well, that just about wraps up our presentation on the Bachelor of Computer Science. Chandan, Jack, and I are on hand to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks for listening, and whatever you choose to study, best of luck with it.